Okay, so we are live in my Facebook group. I hope everyone is okay because I am amazing, just out of a close of 24K. I am with Bill, who is my Irish brother. He's an amazing person, an amazing dad, and also an amazing salesperson. Guys, we have some questions for him today. Bill, can you give us a quick overview about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, of course. Obviously, Angelo, very privileged to be here with you. You know, I don't speak a whole lot of French, so hopefully everyone can understand me. I do have a very thick Irish accent, as they say. So, yeah, my name is Bill. Obviously, as Angelo said, I run the head of sales for Jeremy Minor and have done for the last number of months. Moved into sales at the real start of coronavirus. Last year in London. I never sold a single thing up to that stage, and over the last kind of 12 months, I've been on a bit of a roller coaster, as they say, full of a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of learning, and just staying in the trenches of I suppose daily actions and daily work that's required to get to, I suppose, being Jeremy's head of sales. You know, so it's been a fun ride up to this point.
Wow, it's amazing because 1 year ago, 2 years ago, you was not a sales guy, and now you are running the best sales team in the world, in my own opinion, because you are selling for the best sales coach in the world. Last month, you did 52 sales, if I'm right.
52, yeah, 52 last month. This month will be well over 75. Yeah.
Sorry?
Yeah, this month is going to be well over 75. There's a couple of days left. I'm just on that 70, and I'm being a bit conservative. I normally close about 4 deals a day.
Amazing.
That's the kind of average that we're at the moment. Yeah.
It's a question I had. How can you close so more? What is the secret behind?
Oh, the secret. I don't know. I work for one of the best, so I think a large portion of it is having Jeremy in your corner. Having that first-hand experience of being, in my opinion and yours, with like the best trainer in this entire universe, but also learning and adapting how to do it yourself. I can't speak as eloquently as Jeremy can. I can't do what he does, but I had to find a way to ultimately get to the end position just as he does. So that has to come through reframes, that has to come through hooks, that has to come through analogies, and it has to come through stories. And once you have that built up in your arsenal, you can pull it out at every single place that you need it. And when you're able to do it, that means you can be flexible in the conversation. You can move around, and you can know you have complete control to ultimately get to the end. It doesn't matter, like there's 5 different ways to get to the end of the road. Okay? Just because Jeremy or Angelo or I go one particular way doesn't mean you can't go around to get to the exact same point. So that's the flexibility of being able to be having that deeper level of understanding, but also the conversation matter. You know what I mean?
Oh, wow. It's amazing. I see something behind your back, and I know what it is, but yes. Why? Because I think this is something you want to show in yourself.
Yeah. No, I do all the time. Because I'm on camera now and I can see it in my background. And what it does, it just flickers the reminder in my brain every day to work hard. So I have that there, and I have my family in front of me.
Wow.
So I know that when I'm in the pits, when I'm in the trenches, I know why I'm doing it. I'm doing it because that thing there reminds me of only one life. And these 3 pictures here remind me why I do what I do. So it's a daily confirmation of I need to always drive forward, but I need to drive forward for these people, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
I'll show you. I'll show you in a minute.
For you, for me also. Yeah. So you are in the best sales team in the world. For me, for you, okay. But when we have a lot of new closer, baby closer, who will watch this interview, and they are watching now. For you, from your own perspective, because you grew a lot since the last month and the last year, how do you recognize, in your own opinion, how do you recognize someone who can crush it? Okay, maybe it's the biology, the mental. Give us.
I say this to the guys all the time. Angelo. I think life experience is a big thing. Like I spent 4.5 years in military. You know, I spent 4.5 years from the age of 17 all the way up to 21, 20, give or take. And I moved to London to be with my family. I have little girls here and stuff like that and a partner. So like going from 17 to 20, then moving to a whole new city, a whole new place where you don't know anybody. When I moved here first, I had 2 numbers on my phone. Grace was my partner and her dad, Mickey. And if you can stay in the trenches for that long and you can stay in an environment where you're just working hard and you're grafting and you're doing everything fundamentally to get to where you want to be. It's taken me 7, 8 years of just nonstop work to get to this point. Like for me, when I was like 16, 15 years of age, I knew I wanted to be successful. Now, I don't know that I am that entirely successful, but I know that I'm on the right track. Because if I can do what I've done in a year, what can you do in 5 years? So I think to answer your question, I think an awful lot of it comes down to experience. But I think to be the very, very best, and I mean the top 1%, like Angelo's and the Matt Riders and the Jeremys and the Marcos and all of the top guys, I think you have to have multiple dimensions to you. And what I mean by that is you can be the best friend, you can be the person who's going to pull somebody out of the shit, you can be the, I suppose, the man that's going to give somebody confidence, but you can also be the person that's just going to be direct with someone. And once you can wear all the multiple hats and you can build that up through your own life experiences and you can learn and adapt, that's when you start to becoming the person who can close a 60, 70, 80, then into the 90% where I am. You know what I mean?
Wow. And so you can start, if I understand well, you can start from your own foundation with life experience. And what do you think? Where comes the coaching thing? Okay, so you need the strong foundation. And what about coaching? Why?
Coaching is important because I always bring it back to this. Like when you learned how to drive a car, Angelo, how did you do it? Did you get in the car and just drive it, or did you get somebody to educate you to do the right things at the right time to save time and save money? What did you do?
I paid someone to show me.
Yeah, and so do most people, you know what I mean? Unless you live in a rural farmland or whatever. But like the reason why people are more advanced than us is because they have more education. So we have 2 choices in this life. Number 1, we can get the education and it's going to take you years to do it yourself and a lot of trial and error. Or number 2, you pay for somebody to pull you up. Those are the 2 reasons. Those are the 2 ways that you get advanced in this life. Number 1 is education. Number 2, you pay for somebody else's education. Because that's how it trickles down. How does education trickle down? It trickles down from someone who's smarter than you, someone who has done it longer than you, to somebody who has done it a little bit longer than you as well. And then it comes to you. And then you're constantly building and evolving up the ladder. So that's why coaching is important. Like coaching speeds up the results that you're ultimately going to get. But you can take years. You can take the time. You can take the energy. You can put the finances into it. But ultimately, we all want things faster. And we want things faster because this thing here in 2021 allows us to have everything at a touch of a button. So nobody wants to do the work anymore. Nobody wants to put 3, 4, 5, 10 years into learning something when all we have to do is exchange one thing, which is our money and our time and our energy.
Wow.
So that's why coaching is important. And it's important because it's about what you want and how fast you want to get there. And if you want to get there faster, you put it all on the line like I did, like you did, and everybody else does, because that will allow you to speed up the results you're going to have.
Wow, I love it. I love your perspective. Yeah, so you are more successful than last year and you're less successful than next year. You are doing an excellent job. You are bringing home money for your family and for yourself. What kind of goals someone like you can have? Because you have, for the people who are watching us, you have maybe all what they want. But what is the next step for you? How do you, my question would be, how do you raise your standard over and over again to keep grinding? How do you do that?
It's a funny one, Angelo. I'm scared every day. And you'll say to me, what the fuck does that mean? I'm scared every day because I don't know when it's going to stop. I don't know, can I lose my voice? I don't know, will I lose the skill? I don't know, will Jeremy kick me out? I don't know, will I crash and die? So every day you have to understand one thing, that you have to do the best that you can do on the day. And once you can go to bed at night, and you and I know working US times, we're going to bed at 11 and 12 at night. Once you can put your head on the pillow and answer the question, have you done all that you can do? If the answer is yes, that means you've done a good job. If the answer is no, then you have another day tomorrow, hopefully, to change that. So how I keep hungry and how I keep focused and keep energized is because there's always another day tomorrow to improve. There's always another day tomorrow to go out there and do everything that you can to keep pushing the dial in your direction. And I also remember when I came to London first, and I remember I done one PT session a month. I made £50 a month when I came here first. And I remember that feeling. I remember that idea. I remember that first Christmas that I was here in London and I couldn't afford to buy Christmas presents. And I don't know about you, Angelo, but when I have family, I have friends, I'm a very kind of family oriented person. And not being able to buy my little girl the presents that I wanted to buy her, like, it makes me still upset today. And I know that I never want to feel that way again. So that's all those little flickers in your mind of what you were driving, how you felt, when you felt it, when you go to a coffee shop, will your card bounce? All of those things will always stay in your mind if you're someone who is largely number one, motivated, but self-made. So you never lose it. I can imagine with you, when you were a security guard, I'm sure there was awful days where you just said to yourself, I don't want this anymore. I don't want this life. I'll do anything to make it go away. I'll do anything to make it change. So if you have to constantly find motivation in yourself, then maybe it's not worth it. Because the motivation should be here, and it should be here always, every day. Because it's constantly around us. I look at my girls, I look at everything, I look at this thing behind me, I look at this watch. Like, all these things are fundamentally the motivating factor to keep going. Because if you've come this far, why stop yourself from going more? You know?
Wow. What is the next goal for you? Because now you have achieved certain goals. And for example, what can I wish you? Or what can we wish you for the second part of 2021?
Oh, the second part of 2021. I spoke with Jeremy about this a couple of times. I want Jeremy's account to be $1 million a month. $1 million a month is 12 million a year. That's the goal. We're about 400K at the moment. I want it to be at $1 million revenue a month. Once we can get it to $1 million revenue a month, I might sit back with a cigar. We might have a joke. We might have a laugh of how far we've come. But what it will allow me to understand is if we've got it to $1 million and I've been a large part of that cog, let's get it to 1 million 2.5, and then let's get it to 1.5, and then let's get it on to 2, and let's get it on to multiple, because that's where it can go. There's so much money in this world. There is so much money. There is so much access. There is so much availability. What we all need to do as salespeople is learn the skill to go and get it. That's it. And that's all we're doing. You know, we're helping people largely in a large portion of what we do, but fundamentally we're moving the dial, number one, for our clients or prospects, and then number third is ourselves. You know what I mean?
Of course.
So that's the goal. That's the goal. It's a big lofty goal, but we didn't think we would get to 500K in 6-8 weeks. So
yes, the next plateau. The next plateau is 500K, and when you hit the 500K, okay, we need to double that and to go to 1 million a month.
Yeah, absolutely. Why stop? Don't ever stop. You stop, you're dead, because there's only two movements in this world: up and down, or sideways. Up or down or sideways. I'll give you sideways. You can go left and right, but you're going nowhere. If you go left and right, you're going nowhere. You're just going up, and you're just stagnant. So there's two movements. There's up and down. If you're not going up, you're going down. That's my mindset on things.
A quick personal question, because I saw you growth, Really, I saw you, not your growth, your rise.
Sure.
Yeah. And what happened at home, because you worked a lot, you bring home more money, but we know together it's not about money, because now I think you're financially free. And what's next? Because at home, what your wife is saying, and no, what she saw the most change about you?
I've always worked hard. That's one thing that I can always put my hand on my heart and say I've always worked hard. I've always done everything I needed to do for a larger extent. Of course, I'm making a fucking ton more money now, but it's I think for me, it's just her having the security to know that she's okay. And when you don't come from money, and when you don't come from a place where it's just an abundance, knowing that you're just solid, knowing that you just have enough to go to a restaurant, a really fancy restaurant, put the card down and just say, whatever, go and sign it. I'm not a man of massive luxury. I'm just not that person, because I don't need to, because I have self gratification in myself. I don't need Angelo. I don't need all the other guys that are going to watch this. I don't need Matt or Jeremy to see me flaunt or whatever, because I don't need it. You know, I have 2 young kids. I have a partner. I have everything I fundamentally really need. So I think a large portion, as you know, Angelo, you're a family man, is just knowing that you have a skill, you have tools in your bucket that will literally make your family okay forever now. And that's what I've just realized over the last maybe 6 months, 3 months maybe, that I just know that if I have a camera, if I have a headset, if I have internet, and I have a payment link, more often than not, my family are going to be safe. So that's the big thing, is that comfort and confidence, knowing that everything is where you need it to be, you know.
If you would start over from scratch, what would you do as a baby closer? This is my question. It's not from someone else, but I hope it's going to help people in my group.
Yeah, well, the question you have to ask yourself, and you have to be really, really honest with yourself with this, is where do you want it to go? What is the first goal? If the first goal is 10K a month, let's just say this, 10K a month. What do you fundamentally have to do to get there? That is it. And if it's a case that you have to take out some funding, you have to borrow some finances, you have to invest it in your skill, that's it. Just do it. Because I'd rather be the person that says, I did it and I tried and I did fail, but I learned so much, rather than the person that didn't have the courage to even do it. I'd rather be the person that crosses the bridge and at least knows what's on the other side, than the person looking out at everybody else crossing it. So if I could go back, I would pay for coaching far sooner. Flat, 100%.
Wow.
Because I would be where I am now in 8 months rather than 12 months. And it pays for itself. Like, it pays hand over fist. Because let's look at it like this. If you're selling a 10K package, you're selling 10K coaching, you do one good month, it wipes it off. You do one good month, it wipes it off for the rest of your life. If you're 20 years of age, and if you're lucky, you'll have a career of 20 plus years, one good month to learn the right skill will literally 1,000% improve where you are, which is going to mean it's going to be 1,000% of the return you're going to get. Because let me ask you this, Angelo, how many times did you learn how to drive?
Wow.
You learned once.
Once.
Yeah, so it's not a recurring payment. It's not something that you have to keep paying for over and over and over again. Of course, if you want to learn better skills, you want to be a Formula 1 driver, you probably have to continue paying to get educated, and then that's fine because you can ultimately drive. But if you can't drive, you have to pay, you have to get the education, or else you're just going to struggle. And who wants to struggle? I don't want to struggle.
No, I want to perform. Wow. Fact. Of course. Well, we are going to the end of the interview, but I have a few more questions for you. And this one is from Gassan. Maybe you know him. I hope you know him.
Yeah.
And he's asking us, what are the fundamentals for you? What are the fundamentals that you focus in order to be able to generate over 50 sales a month? So how do you maybe structure your day to get to what number?
Yeah. It's hard because I got a baby at the moment who's who's completely thrown my routine out of the window. I've been a man from the age of 15 all the way to nearly 30 who has just lived on routine, who trains multiple times a week, who knows when he's having his coffee, he knows when he's having his lunch, who eats very similar things every single day. So when I have a baby that's kind of thrown it all over the place because she's sick and she's coming out of that and she's just one, and you know that, it's just all over the place with him. So I start at 11 in the day, 11 in the morning, and I will go nonstop until 11 o'clock at night. And I may not be on calls all of those hours, but my mind is always in the business. So whether I'm doing referrals, whether I'm doing follow-ups, whether I'm calling, whether I'm doing book calls, whether I'm in the groups and I'm marketing myself, I'm always constantly thinking of how best can I make more sales. Because fundamentally, if I'm a commission-based person, what is the one thing that I need to do? I need to get more sales across the line. So that's how I kind of structure it. That's what I'm always thinking in my mind. I start at 11 and I go all the way to 10, 11 o'clock at night, and I'm always in the business. I'm always thinking of how best can I maximize things.
But that drive that you are, do you think it's come from your genetics? Do you think it come from your mindset? Or where your success come from? What is the recipe?
Yeah. I've got brothers. I've got a twin in Australia, and we're so opposite. We're so opposite. You wouldn't even know. He's so just happy in his own zone. He's so happy doing his own thing. And I got another brother in Canada, and he's the same thing. Whereas for me, Angelo, I'm never quite satisfied. I'm never quite enough. I remember at 22 years of age, I bought a Range Rover. It's my dream car, bought it at 22, 23 years of age, worked my bollocks off, did everything I needed to do. The minute I got it, this is great. A week later, I said I want a new one.
Oh.
So where do you go? What do you do? And it's a constant battle that I have in my mind. When is enough enough? And I think once you reach the stage of thinking enough is enough, you lose that sharpness, you lose that bite, you lose that top 1 or 2% that's putting you where you are. So I don't think I'll ever kind of find that end goal, because once you achieve something, you know that there's more to be achieved. Because if Angelo has done it and Matt has done it and fucking Marco has done it and everyone has done it, why can't I? And that's always been the mindset. That's always been the kind of mentality. You know, I've always been, whatever I've done, I've always wanted to be the very best that I could do. And not because I want to be shining. It's just because I know that once I go to bed, I just know that I've done everything I can. So I don't know. There's a fire. I'm Irish. I have a great mother who has a pub with over 30 years. I'm surrounded by really, really strong people. Grace's mom here worked really, really hard. You know, she's a very successful businesswoman herself. So I'm constantly surrounded by really, really good people and really people that I inspire to be and that motivate me. So I don't know. It's a combination of everything, I suppose.
Wow. I have just one more question before I let you go, because I know your time is very valuable. The next question is from you to me, because this is the game I have. You can ask one question to me.
Yeah, well, the question I have for you is, where do you think you're going to be in 12 months? What do you think you're going to be doing?
Wow, good question. I put a lot of things on my vision board, and I'm doing very well in French, really. I think I am in the best French account in the world, so I'm very proud. I don't want to leave him, but my heart is calling me with a new challenge in English, because I can't change one life. If I can change one life, I had to. I have to change one life because I can. And no matter what my English is good or not, I have to change lives, and not just in the French-speaking countries. So in 12 months, it's not about money anymore, because money is here. It's about changing life, and like I said a lot, taking my place, taking my real place. So in 12 months, I will be where my heart is driving me. And when I listen to my heart, opportunity came. I don't know what's going to happen in 12 months, but I'm just learning more, sharpening my skills, being surrounded with you, with people like me, with wolves in this journey. And I don't know where I will be in 12 months, but I will be safe at the right time, at the right pace, with the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And the thing with you, Angelo, is you just know in 12 months time, you'll be in a far better place. And it's not because you're in a negative place now. It's because you know, I always say to people, it's like this, right? You have a weighing scales, okay? Now on one side of the weighing scales, you have all the rice. You have all the rice on the left-hand side or the right-hand side if you're looking at me. Now, every day, if I take one piece from this over here and I put it over here, more often than not, if you just keep doing it day after day after day after day after day after day after day, it starts to level, and then sooner or later, it's going to start tipping in your balance, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's the work, that's the daily actions, that's the daily routine, that's the consistent like work that you're going to put in to upskilling yourself. Because you know, and I know, and I coach it every day, if you can get better, if you can get sharper, if you can get 1% better every single week in any element of your sales, you will make more money. You will be more successful. You will be in a far better place in 12 months than where you are right now. And that's not necessarily that it's a good, like, not that it's a great thing, but it's an important thing. Because if you're not growing, if you're not in a river, you're in a pond. And that's why I always say to people, if you're not in the river, you're in a pond swimming around your own shit. So get in the river, get in the currents and go that way, because that way is where you want it to be, you know?
Brother, thank you so much. I know
it's good.
You are amazing. I'm very proud to get you on my Facebook group. I hope everyone gets just 1% about what you gave us. Please, guys, please put in the comment what is your golden nugget from today from Bill. Of course, he have an accent. Of course, I will pay someone to do a transcription and the French subtitles, of course. But please, guys, for those who understand English, put something in the comment, put some love, put some golden nuggets, and I will share with him to start his day strong and finish the week strong also. Bill, just from me, thank you so much, brother.
Absolutely, buddy. Yes. Pleasure.
My pleasure. See you very soon, maybe later today, and have fun. Bye, bro.